Architectural documentation is one of those things every team knows they should do well, but most teams struggle with. In this video, we will look at the C4 model, a lightweight, structured approach to drawing and communicating software architecture that gives every stakeholder exactly the level of detail they need. Think about the last architecture diagram you encountered. Was it clear who the users were, what the moving parts were, and how they connected? Most diagrams mix high-level intent with low-level implementation detail on the same page. The result is a picture that confuses rather than clarifies, and that quickly falls out of date because nobody agrees on what it was supposed to say in the first place. The key insight behind C4 is the same insight behind cartography. The right level of detail depends entirely on what question you are trying to answer. A world map tells you where countries are. A street map tells you how to walk from A to B. A floor plan tells you where the fire exits are. Each level zooms in, adds detail, and serves a different reader. C4 applies exactly this idea to software architecture. C4 organizes architectural documentation into 4 nested levels. Level 1, the context diagram, shows your system as a single box and maps it against the people and external systems it interacts with. Level 2, the container diagram, zooms inside that box and reveals the independently deployable units. Think web servers, mobile apps, databases, and message queues. Level 3, the component diagram, zooms inside a single container to show its major logical parts. Level 4 goes all the way down to code, typically as class diagrams, though in practice many teams stop at level 3. Here is what a level 2 container diagram looks like for a simple online banking system. The customer interacts with a web application in their browser. The web application talks to an API server over HTTPS. The API server reads and writes to an account database and sends notification requests to an external email provider. Every box in this diagram is a deployable unit, something you could independently run, scale, or replace. This is the level that maps most directly to the tiers and services your infrastructure team actually operates. The power of C4 is that each level is a deliberate zoom into the previous one. You start at the context level where the system is one box. You zoom into containers to see what is deployed. You pick one container and zoom into its components to see how responsibilities are divided. Finally, if you need it, you zoom into a component to see its classes. Each step adds detail for a narrower, more technical audience, so nobody is forced to wade through information they do not need. C4 is most valuable when communication is the bottleneck, when different people hold different mental models of the system, and that mismatch causes mistakes or slows onboarding. For larger or distributed systems, even just the context and container diagrams pay for themselves immediately. The caution is level 4. Code diagrams age quickly and teams rarely keep them in sync. Most practitioners treat level 4 as optional and generate it from code automatically when needed rather than maintaining it by hand. The best way to adopt C4 is to start small and add depth only where it helps. Draw a context diagram first. It forces agreement on scope and is immediately useful for any stakeholder. Then produce a container diagram to give engineers a shared map of what is deployed. Resist drawing every level at once. The goal is not comprehensive documentation for its own sake, it is shared understanding. Update diagrams when the structure changes, and use the right level for the room you are presenting to. C4 is not a heavy methodology. It is a disciplined habit of drawing the right picture for the right audience. When your whole team shares the same vocabulary and the same zoom levels, conversations about architecture become faster, onboarding improves, and design decisions get made with a clearer view of what already exists. Pick up a whiteboard, draw your context diagram, and the rest follows naturally.